You still need to turn it dum a little bit.
I'm good. You good? I'm good.
You gotta. Can we turn it just a
Yeah,
smidgen?
turn it.
Yeah, I'm lower. You're higher. There, whatever. That works. So, as you can see, I got the original River Rat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Mason. I'm Colin. And told you guys I'd get Mason back on for doing one of these. What you holding there?
A bow. The bow that you gave me. The Matthew Z7. Probably one of the best bows except for the switchback.
Yeah, that Matthews ever made.
Yep. Switchback was the best one they ever made.
And I know we'll ruffle feathers with that, and people will say, "Oh no, it's the Triax, or it's the new ones out with the lift X's and everything else." Matthews is, if I had to rank bows, Matthews would be number one. Number two, or even tied, would be Hoyt, and then third or second, however you want to do it, in my opinion, would be Elite. Those would be my top three. What would your top three be?
Matthews would be number one. Hoyt would be number two. And then I would have to do, Elite.
I'm not saying that Bowtech's not a good company. I'm not saying Bear's not a good company.
But an Expedition, I would have to give number 4 just because they're made here in Iowa.
See, I don't even have Expedition in my top 5. But I'll be hunting with an Expedition this year, and I'll also be hunting with a Matthews 6.5 Reason.
Mm-hmm. I just don't really. The only reason why I give Expedition number 4 would be because they are made in Iowa. It's just they kind of screw over the dealers when they're putting their bows for sale on websites, on other websites like Amazon. So
that's the main reason I don't even have Expedition in my top 5. If you want to know my exact top 5, it would be Matthews, Hoyt, Elite, and then it would go Bear, Darton, Martin, then Expedition. And right in that same group of the last two that I mentioned would also throw in Obsession, and who else is there?
Bowtech.
Yeah, Bowtech's should be a top 5 but for me they're not. That, people like them, love them. I like all the old Bowtech stuff, the early 2000s Bowtechs that they had. That's what me and my dad strictly shot for a while. I started off shooting Darton, and then I switched over to Bowtech, and then once I started making big boy money and out on my own, then I was like, I heard all the hype and everything about the Matthews switchback, and I didn't have the money for a switchback, but then I got a Reason, and I shot a Reason 6.5. I've shot a Reason 7. I've shot the Monsters. I've shot the Hoyt Alpha Maxes back in the day. To me, between the Hoyt Alpha Maxes and everything else, I really like what the bow companies were doing. All of them, Bowtech and Matthews and Hoyt and all them. I really liked what all those guys were doing back in from about 2003 to 2011, 2012, because they were all right there. But so I had one laying around, and Mason thought he might have to give it up, but good buddy me to the rescue and found an older site, and that as of now it might take a little bit of him getting used to, but there's probably a 20% chance. I noticed we said he won't be deer hunting this year, but I would say now there might be a 20% chance this guy might be in a deer stand this fall with this bow.
Yeah, I might head up there, and even if I don't feel comfortable shooting, I'm not going to shoot. I'll just sit in the stand. That's all I'll do. That's what I did last year.
I mean, you did get a shot off last year.
I just shot low.
Yeah, but the bow wasn't really set up for you. You were borrowing my wife's bow. I don't have mine with me. I'm over at Mason's place, and I said I wanted to drop it off for him, let him ooh and ah over it. He can deck it out how he wants. He likes the green and black strings on it.
Yeah,
you can't really see it, but
yeah, you can't see it right there. Green and black string, thumb release.
Carter, just because release, it really helps him out a lot. Can't say enough good things about these. Me personally, for the poundage and stuff that I shoot, I had carpal tunnel surgery done on this hand, and as you can tell, that's all I can do to try and make the number 3.
I can't even.
I can do it this way, but I can't even bring my fingers together.
I can't even bring mine together.
I know
I've never had carpal tunnel.
See, I had it done, but see, if I went to try and pull this back, I'm gripping way too much. I gotta have the sit way back here, and it comes back, and just gets awkward. I did shoot it. I did shoot this release last year though, and but after last year and knowing what it did, at no fault of the releases, it was mine, but not. I was using it as a backup, and a couple of times I wasn't able to get everything set just right, and I had a little mishap on a deer, so.
Yep.
But I can shoot a wrist style release really well, so that's what I do. But you got anything else you want to say or add before we really jump into talking these guys?
Broadheads again.
You gotta admit, it is a hot topic when it comes to archery. Between these guys and crossbows, I mean, you want to start a debate and have it get hot and heated. Talk about these two types of broadheads, a fixed blade and a mechanical.
And it's all about shot placement. That's all it is.
It's 100% shot placement. This broadhead, I mean, proof is in the pudding. You can watch all the guys on Bone Collector, Waddell, all them, T-Bone, Nick Munn, and I know there's others, but I don't know how many times you'll see these guys use these on elk, deer, and sometimes they get complete pass-throughs, sometimes they don't. But you know what? You never know when you end up hitting that offside shoulder, something like this. Yeah, you might get lucky, you might not. But a broadhead is designed not to always penetrate and give you entry and exit. That right there is going to give you, as everybody knows, that broadhead there will give you a bigger entry hole than what this guy will, and that's going to create a better wound channel than what this guy will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then when I shot a deer with one of these once, a guy asked me if I threw a hatchet at it because of how big of a hole it left.
He shot that deer at 10 yards, blew right through it. Deer barely knew what would happen, jumped, stood around. He could see blood coming out of it, and then the deer took off like a bat out of hell.
Yep.
I have shot deer with both. I've shot deer with fixed blades. I hunted mainly fixed blades last year. I hunt with mechanicals. I'll use a G5. I'll use Grim Reaper. I'll use Rocket. I'll use. What I look for in design is I'm not a huge fan of a 2-inch cut mechanical. I will shoot them, but I'm not a huge fan. I think, because everybody's like, oh, blades will break or this or that and everything else. Well, yeah, you can see how big and long those blades are. Okay. You get enough pressure on the back end of these, yeah, you're going to snap a blade. Plain and simple.
Yep.
You can do the same thing to one of these, believe it or not. Is it as likely? No, but why is that? It's shorter, it's thicker, hence a shorter and thicker expandable. The blades are going to be harder to break. It's just common physics, and leverage. But quartering two, yeah, you can take a slightly quartering two with one of these. You can quartering away can do it, but everybody knows you want that slight quartering away, not quartering to or broadside, and you're going to get the same results of a dead deer whether you're shooting one of these, or even a Rage. I know Rage has gotten all sorts of smack and hate and everything else, but that's just, in my opinion, that's operator error on setting the broadhead upright.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to clock those arrows.
Yeah, clocking helps a little bit, making sure you have the right vein up, especially if you're shooting all one color. You got to have it marked on which one is which. For me, I know. I'll go through and figure out which one is, and then the minute that I do that, it's game on.
Mm-hmm. Having your arrows, having your fletchings at a helical
Helps
left
a
or
lot.
right, left or right helical. Yeah.
It helps out a lot. It
It's
really
all
truly
about-
does.
It's all about shot placement.
It is. It's 100% shot placement. I'm going to throw some hate. And,
just think. The Native Americans, they used atlatls with a rock as their point.
yeah. Hence this design right here. Take the bleeders off. Make that into stone. That's exactly what Native Americans used for thousands of years.
Yep.
But here's where I'm going to throw, and I know I'm going to get hate comments on this one when this really gets up and going, is I'm not going to mention main people, okay, but there are a couple of groups of people out there that are really pushing towards a heavy arrow with something like this or better on it, single bevel, whatever, and taking whatever shot they can to do it and get that arrow the most penetration at a short yardage and everything else. You already know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no.
Um,
You take a heavy arrow and you shoot him in the butt, you better hope and pray you hit that artery.
yeah, angles like that, they're more of frontal, quartering to, busting shoulders, that needs to stop. It really does, because it's going to cause, because you got so many people thinking, oh, I'm going to go shoot a 650, 750 adult arrow and bust through a shoulder on a whitetail or whatever, and yada, yada, yada. No, 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 no. Do your homework. Do your due diligence. Make sure. Should you have some weight forward? Yes. Okay. There's been a lot of people, and you can look these videos up. There's a lot of people that shoot big animals and get really good penetration with under 500 grain arrows. And they're shooting elk. They're shooting moose. They're shooting Cape buffalo. They're shooting bison. You name it, they're hunting them, and they're getting results. You know, this is a 28-inch arrow, and they're getting results of entry and exit holes on them. Why is that? They're doing their homework on their arrow flight. They know their limits. They're not taking 80, 90-yard bomb shots. And they're making sure that their shot is away from that front shoulder and taking out the lungs on a deer. You know, when a deer's broadside or cornering too, I mean, you got a big area to be able to hit.
Mm-hmm.
You start taking a quartering to or a frontal shot, you go from this down to this or down to this. Not good.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking for disaster. You know, to me, it's common sense. Would you rather have something this big to shoot at and make sure you're going to hit, or do you want something this big to hit at and try and make sure to hit and get the most penetration and everything else? Frontal and quartering two shots should be an absolute no-no. I don't care if you're shooting a 100-pound bow. You're still asking for disaster, because there's parts that I've taken an axe and swung it as hard as I could on a deer's shoulder and not busted it completely through. You know, he can vouch for me. I did it once with, literally just cut the front leg off, left the hide and everything, took an axe and tried to smack all the way through it, and sitting on a table, and I still didn't cut and bust everything up. Yeah, I broke it. It didn't go through. Okay?
It's not brittle enough at that time.
No, it's not. And you'll see some of these guys that are shooting ones that are and everything else. Just, I can't stress enough. A quartering to or a frontal shot, just wait for the animal to turn. Turn broadside and give yourself that best option possible. You know, and if you don't, if it is a hunt of a lifetime and you think the frontal shot's the only shot you're going to take, then it's on you to make sure that your setup and your capabilities as a hunter are good enough to take on that frontal shot with your equipment. If you're not, and you have the slightest bit of doubt, you shouldn't be taking that shot no matter what. There's way too much risk involved. Way too much risk. You know, I religiously shoot 70 pounds. I shoot anywhere from a 460 to a 490 grain arrow. Shooting these, I smacked a shoulder twice on two different deer with one of these, and still lost both of them by hitting the front shoulder. One was due to deflection that I ended up getting tunnel vision. Had nothing to do with the broadhead. Absolutely had nothing to do with on the front of this arrow. It was all on me getting tunnel vision and not seeing a twig, and that twig catching and ricocheting my arrow and not getting the penetration that I needed to do.
And that's my problem is
both times.
I get tunnel vision a lot.
And the way that I work on doing that is this guy will vouch for it, Jordan will vouch for it. They'll see me at archery tournaments where we don't turn in our scorecards. I'll sit there and I take some iffy shots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do to prepare myself to be able to shoot through tunnel vision. And there, one deer that I shot, because I knew my equipment, I knew how my arrow was going to fly. He can vouch. I shot through an opening on a deer to where the actual opening of the that I had to shoot through was actually above the deer, but because I knew the arc of my arrow and everything, and I practiced, I knew that my arrow was going to go through, and I knew the terrain that I was hunting, and that's a spot I've hunted for over 20 years. And I knew that it was clear on the other side because I actually cleared the trail out. That in this hole, there was nothing that was gonna, as my arrow went through and was coming down, wasn't going to hit anything. And took the shot and smoked my deer, and it ran 20 yards and plopped over dead. I was shooting a rage broadhead too. And then when I told them, hey, the deer, this is where I shot the deer, this is where it laid, they're like, oh, cool. And I was like, yeah, look through the opening I shot through. They're like, no, you didn't. The one guy that was, Mason didn't believe me. He climbed up in the tree, and I stood where the deer was when I shot, and he looked, what were your exact words? What the fuck were you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
It was a shot. The shot was only 25 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But I had my opening, and like I said, I knew the path of my arrow. Do I recommend doing stuff like that? No, I don't recommend it. I'm only saying it because I want people to know and people to understand that before season, you need to practice. Practice with your broadheads, especially if you're shooting a fixed blade, something like this. Go out and shoot them. Know what your arrow's gonna do. Shoot on a 25 mile an hour windy day. Go shoot out in the rain. Go shoot out in, in all the elements, and figure out exactly what your arrow is gonna do with this guy on the front end of it.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, you're gonna know your limits and know what your equipment is truly capable of doing that you're wanting to hunt with. There's no harm in it, none whatsoever. Now, if you're a guy that shoots a mechanical like me, use your practice tip. Grim Reaper makes some. Makes a practice tip that looks almost identical to their broadhead. If it's a pack of broadheads that doesn't come with a practice tip, buy 2 packs, burn one up, and either glue the blades in or do some sort to keep your blades in, and shoot them that way, so that way you know what's going on. I'm a firm believer in that. I wish broadhead companies would quit making 3 packs, and I wish they would start making 5 or 6 packs, and doing it that way, so that way it's easier. I know it's a money grab. The reason why they do in 3 packs and everything else.
It's almost like buying hot dogs.
Yeah.
And then hot dog buns.
Yep.
You get 6. What is it? 6? No, 8 hot dogs in a. I can't remember.
Yeah, most of them are 8 packs.
Yeah, and then you get what, 6 hot dog buns, or 10.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you can get your 8-pack of buns at some point too, but same concept. It's a money grab, is what it is. Now, I don't blame manufacturers for it and everything else, but there is one. I don't have it. I haven't purchased them yet. and I know I'm going to catch flack on this one, but the broadheads I'm going to shoot this year, both out of a 60-pound and out of a 70-pound bow, are going to be the Beast broadheads. I think that is the closest design to a perfect broadhead is for what is out there. Just the only thing that I think that would end up making that better is instead of the way the blades, they kind of, when they hit, they kind of slap out, you know, and you can end up getting a slap cut with them. If Josh Bomar was able to find a way to shorten those blades up just a little bit, make them thicker, and have them when they hit, they kick backwards instead of flying outwards, I think that truly would be the most perfect broadhead out on the market. If he's able to figure that out, and I, for as smart as a person as he is to come up with the design of that, I honestly believe in the next couple of years we're probably going to see a rear deploying Beast broadhead because of what it is. Yeah, here, show him a picture. Right there. You know? I mean, if he can get that technology and have it be more of when those wings hit and the blades kick back, yeah, your entry hole is not going to be as big as what it would be, but going out is fine. And made it like an inch and 3/8 or, you know, inch and a half, whatever it may be, inch 5, whatever, you know, get it under that 2 inches and use a little stouter blade. It would definitely be a lot more durable broadhead. That's the only flaw I see in the Beast broadhead. For what is there, I wouldn't be afraid to use that thing on anything right now, especially with the way bows are right now. These newer bows, the way they're designed, and the energy that these things are kicking out at 50 and 60 pounds, I mean, it's unbelievable. And to see the animals and at the distances that he's shooting, yeah, he's shooting in a custom 80, 85 pound Hoyt, you know, everything else, but he understands his equipment, he understands his arrow, he understands everything about it and knows his limits. And everybody's like, well, I don't want to deal with his past and everything else. So what? Everybody's got a past. Everybody's done something that they're not proud of, or things that have done this, that, yada, yada, yada. You know, for somebody to have the passion of bow hunting like he does, and to try and help make a product so that way other people can be successful. I'm not saying go out and sit down and have a beer with the guy or whatever, but we all need to come together and support one another one way, shape, or form. Whether, okay, you don't want to support Jason and his wife and all them because of their past. Okay, so what? You know, support somebody though. Support Matthew. Support your local dealer. Support only American made, like Magnus broadheads or the G5 ones or whatever it may be.
Reaper.
Yeah, you know, then fine, so be it. If you're a new guy getting into this sport, this is going to raise a lot of hate. Let's say you only got $400 and you see this bow on Amazon and it comes with everything rip-raring ready to go. 2 thumbs up. Go grab it. Go buy it. Get yourself into it.
Yep. I mean, it's still supporting the company. I mean, it's supporting Amazon, but you're still supporting that company that you're buying it from.
You know, maybe it is a Chinese-made company. So what? That's all you can afford, and it's going to give you the best bang for your buck, and it's going to get you outdoors, and it's going to get you into hunting. We need all the support we can get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's going to get you out and spending your tax dollars on buying tags, buying licenses, buying stands, and everything else.
Tax dollars? You mean your paycheck?
tax dollars, paychecks, almost the same damn thing anymore. But I mean, go and do it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you like it, you know, then you can sit there and be like, hey, okay, now I'll save up and I want to get a boat like Jimmy John down the road, you know. I'll go and get that one. But for somebody that's starting out and doesn't want to invest $3,000 into just their archery equipment, jump on Amazon, go buy the $300 package and go shoot a deer or two and get hooked on it. And you know, and if you don't decide, you know, oh, this is good enough, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you buy everything off of Amazon, so be it. Everybody's saying, you know, ban Amazon, ban this, ban that. Why limit ourselves? Why? You know, I personally do not understand why you would want to limit that and make it even more of a rich man's sport.
Mm-hmm.
I truly don't. You know, but in the same sentence, I'm going to sit here and say support your local archery shops too, though. You know, if they don't have something that you can get a bow and spend your, you know, like I said, he only got $400 to get everything. If he doesn't have something that's going to work out, yes, by all means, Amazon would be your second best. But if he can get you set up with arrows, sight, rest, get you ready to go, and have you be under $400, that's the route you should go.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have anything, go to Amazon and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wrong in that.
No.
John,
I mean, I still look at getting stuff on Amazon. I mean, shit. When
we all do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and our wives are really good at buying stuff off of Amazon and everything else. So I mean,
well, my wife isn't. I am.
Oh, see, my wife, I got packages that come every single day. I swear we're going to be on a first name basis here shortly with Amazon delivering it, or the UPS guy, whichever.
For me, when I go on there, I'm looking at buying stuff for bait making.
Right.
I mean, just because. It goes the same way with fishing. I mean, fishing is turning into a rich man's sport, so that's the reason why I started making my own stuff.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I don't understand why in the hell you would want to buy a lure for $13 freaking and have a chance of losing it after one or two casts.
One cast. Yeah. You know, sit there and we're fishing a really good spot and there's trees around and you get there and you're, oh crap, wind took it. And then all of a sudden there come the 4-letter words right after. You dirty rotten, you know. Everybody knows what I'm talking about when the 4-letter words started flying.
Yeah, it's like $13 freaking lure, and
it's 20 feet in the tree, and you're like, damn.
I can make it for $2-3.
Exactly. And then you're like, yeah, I'll just make another one.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, go ahead, support the companies that are making the lures. But when you're someone like me that fishes often, gets snagged often.
Yeah.
You're better off just making your own stuff.
And you might sit there and say, oh, I don't have the money to do that. I'd rather spend the $13, $14.
Then go ahead. I mean, it's, you know, fine. I mean, granted, yeah, one of these here, the Helgermite molds here, is an $80 freaking mold. But I can make plenty of soft baits to cover that cost.
Oh yeah.
So, but granted, yeah, you can't go and make your own bow.
Well, you can
Longbow.
You can make your own longbow. I mean, they've got
own long recurve bow.
You know, and you want to do it that way? I'm all for it.
Do they have kits for that?
Yeah, they do.
Sweet.
Right? Trust me, my main goal is to shoot a deer with either a recurve or a longbow.
I just want to make a recurve bow.
I would prefer the shorter recurve, but I would love to be able to do that. You know, have one and practice with it and get good enough that, you know, I shoot a lot of deer at 20 yards, some even closer.
I mean,
I would love to be able to do it. why haven't I done it yet is beyond me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like shooting, my compounds and everything else. But
have you seen the cost of freaking pot calls now?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Don't even get me started. About the only decent ones that are halfway reasonably priced are Primos ones.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, they've jumped up in price.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're talking about a rich man's sport, but they got companies out there that make kits to make your own pot call or box call. So
best turkey call I've got.
So
he put his little touches on one of those kits and did a little of his own due diligence and everything else on it, his own juju. And I will tell you what, it's the best sounding pot call I have ever used.
I mean, they got kits. You can make one with a copper soundboard if you want. They have them if you want to make aluminum soundboard. Slate, they have different colors. Slate. I mean, all that
I don't even
stuff.
remember the one that you made me, but
it's slate, gray slate.
Right, but I can't remember how.
The soundboard. Oh, the soundboard is glass.
Yeah.
Slate. It's slate over glass with a walnut pot.
Yeah, and it is so pretty sounding. I every time I would strike it, I never not had a turkey come gobbling it. I mean, my best year was last year, and one of the guys that me and Mason know really well. He's really, it's not Jordan, it's Chris Doty with DNS Tackle. I told you I'm going to get him on this, and it's in the works. So, but that's the main call that we used last year during turkey season. He says it's one of the best sounding slate calls he's ever used, because I actually let him do a lot of the calling in the area, and we called in 7 different gobblers. I've got the video from me and Mason sitting in the blind when we had 14, 15 different toms come in. I was using that call just to, try and get a feel for where they were. And then we didn't realize, oh crap, here they come. And they all come in, and we had to jump in the blind because we didn't want to booger the spot. And we got bogged down for 2.5 hours in the blind because the turkeys did not want to leave the area. Move forward 3 weeks later, me and Chris are sitting in that blind with our bows, and he's doing the calling, and here they all come, and we had one literally, we could hear it breathing, walked right less than 6 feet from the blind by us. I mean, the windows in the blind didn't go down low enough. We actually had to wait for him to walk by and walk out to where I could the minute I could see his body is when I shot him. Didn't get any video footage of it because we had another one working in, and he had dropped the call and grabbed his bow. We should have had a GoPro going in the blind, but neither one of us at the time had one. And it was an unbelievable hunt. I used the same call to call in my kid's turkey last year, and that was an afternoon hunt, and it sounded like a morning hunt. They just really loved the sound of that. I did it again a week later, and took a buddy of mine from work out, and he loved the sound of it and how it sounded. And it was using that call, I don't know if it was just the timing, what it was. I'm going to say it was because of the call, but I never not had a turkey come in towards my calling with that slate call.
Yeah, and there's different touches you can do to it, but it's this kind of the secret of the trade. But
yeah,
maybe possibly one day I may let the secrets out, but I'm just gonna.
I would hold on to that secret. Yeah, I would hold on to that because it might help Wapsie River rat out quite a bit. I think. Especially if we can get some video footage. My daughter's going turkey hunting this year for the very first time.
Yeah.
My son's going again this year. I'm going again this year. The reason I was kind of late is I was actually getting everything set up for my son and daughter, buying their tags. I had to go buy another 410 shotgun so that way I can take them both out at the same time. Either Mason's going to sit with one or my dad. I am still going to try and talk this numbskull to come in and video, because with one of them, to be able to put it up on the channel, got a lot of good reviews. I resent out to a few people on Messenger that I'm close friends with, and sent the videos out, and they said nothing but good things about them. So Retopia Outdoors, gotta make sure to check out Jordan's channel. He's been he's on a couple of the smaller videos with me that I posted over the past couple weeks. I will get him to do a sit down with me like this, and we'll really get in depth on turkey hunting and deer seasons that we've had, just everything in. And me and Mason are both with him on Retopia. Mason's got a turkey hunt on there. I've got a turkey hunt on there. Jordan's got a few hunts on there. We do have an unsuccessful deer hunt on there that we didn't catch any deer on footage or anything like that. But that's the change. I mean, we're still learning this whole video thing, even though we're grown ass men and kind of late to the ball game on this. But it's like, we're doing stuff that literally the average Joe is doing, and trying to, get it on video is tough, because this isn't our first concept. We're hunters. We're doing this to put food on our table. That's our main focus, and making sure we make a good, clean, ethical, humane kill on what we're doing, because that's the way all of us were raised. We were fortunate enough to get a bunch of turkey kills on video. So now we're gonna try and up it. We will try and get video footage of deer hunts this year.
We just got to double up some stands.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure to do it. We're gonna have blinds set. Actually, going into that, what are you doing there?
I was just getting on here, just because I can.
He's doing something. Hold on.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just grabbing my phone.
Oh, he's looking at something. Always with the phone. Every time we do this, this is the second time, if you guys haven't noticed, he's grabbed the phone and everything.
Yeah.
But every time. But like I was saying, what we're leading into now is the spot. What should we call this spot?
Well, we have Graceland.
Yeah, Graceland. That's where I shot my turkey with my bow this past spring. And Graceland is a mix of public and private.
Yeah. What'd we call the other one? There's Graceland.
I want to say it was Memphis or something.
No, it wasn't Memphis. I can't remember what the other one was.
I don't know what we should call this one. I think we should just call it Paradise.
Yeah. Paradise will work.
Because it's a hunter's paradise. It truly is.
Yeah.
I chased a big buck on this property last year. Crabs. There's pictures of him in the shorts from the summer. He is gone. The two bucks that were running with him, they're gone. I have been running cameras. I'm running 2 on Paradise, that we're going to call it. Yeah, I've got 2 cameras running. I'm mainly doing it for turkey, and maybe see it. Bucks are starting to grow a little bit. They're not. I didn't save the picture, but out of the buck's head right now, he's got 2 nubs on top of his head that are literally about 5 inches in diameter right now, or more, coming out. There's not much hair in between. and I knew it was a buck just from the way he was standing and his posture and everything, and just how barrel chested he was. This place has always produced big deer. I mean, every year I've hunted it. I've been hunting it since 2016. So this is going on year 9. And every year I've had the opportunity to chase, if not at least one, if not 2, Boone and Crockett deer. And last year we had 4 running around. And this property is only, with the fields, is what? 250 acres. And the deer just, you couldn't ask for a better travel / bedding corridor for whitetail deer. You can't. I mean, if you were to picture something with food, water, cover, short travel distances, this spot is it. It truly is. Like I've said in previous videos, the food's already there. The crop field's there. The alfalfa fields are there. The acorn, the oak trees are there. What I'm doing food plot wise, the burn buffers have been cut. 90% of the trail for the farmer to be able to access all of his property again is now cut and mowed down. We do have everything all set up, and like I said, I'm gonna do a rotation sort of thing with my food plots now, because I've got, with this burn coming through, hopefully sometime the middle of this week, we will it'll really help out for turkey hunting this year. But like this year, the main plants I'm going to be doing is a forage rape, sorghum, soybeans, clover, and chicory. Those 5.
What we also might need to do is, those 2 big, huge freaking oaks that are back there that the branches lay out way low to the ground, and it just opens up right next to the trunk, and it's just a thick layer of freaking oak leaves. We might need to go in there and mow all that down and get that
done.
Is it done? Done. Nice. What about trees? Did you get a whole bunch of those trees moved away out of the oak trees? Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
It's the one spot opened up to where you were able to only shoot 15 yards. You can now shoot 30 yards. Another one you can easily whack out 40 yards from the oak tree.
There's this huge, and I mean, that tree's got to be older than the freaking hills of a bur oak, and those branches just go out as far as you can freaking imagine and just hang low to the ground. It is a beautiful, beautiful oak tree.
This tree's is easily older than the state of Iowa.
It's got to be.
And there's at least 3 of them on there. I know 2 of them, just talking to the farmer, the one was aged at 180 some years old.
Yeah.
So, it's been in the family, I mean, long time. I mean, the people that lived there planted them before Iowa was even a state. I want to say one of the oak trees, he did say there was one oak tree planted, estimated to be planted around the 1840s.
Yeah, it's freaking.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's older than the freaking hills.
It truly is.
As you can see, no, this is not a pot plant. If you're wondering what this black thing is,
it's not a.
It's a actual oak.
Little oak tree growing.
Little oak tree that I grabbed from Backbone State Park here in Iowa, an acorn. I grabbed a whole bucket full of them, and so far this is the only one that survived out of the bucket full of acorns.
As you can see, it's growing. It's got a long ways to go.
to become an old oak, but it's only 2 years old, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as old as my daughter, so.
Yeah. But no, we're the following year. We might. Sorghum's always going to be planted on this property for not only a buffer, but also as a more give the deer a little something extra in the wintertime to help them out and keep them healthy.
Well, not only that, but also blind coverage.
Yeah.
So they're more comfortable coming out.
Yep. So sorghum's always going to be planted. The following year, I'm toying with the idea of like some melons, a couple of fruit trees, and like raspberry bushes or strawberry bushes, sunflowers, sweet corn, not field corn, sweet corn, and everything else. And everybody's like, oh, turnips are this, and turnips. No.
It's a late season food. Because they didn't paw up they didn't even touch the leaves.
They didn't touch any of the
turnips
turnips and beets until I went out there the end of January, and with the weather that we were having, they still had not touched the turnips, I think it was the end of February when they finally started pawing and trying to get the
turnips dug up.
Turnips out of the ground and the everything else. But what kept them coming into this area was the chicory, the kale, and the little bit of clover that I was able to get put out. Those three.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the kale. I couldn't keep them off the kale. That kale was a big hit for the deer this year. In one of my plots, I will have a kale and forage rape only deal, and then it'll be surrounded by sorghum. But like I said, I'm doing 3 different plots, and the one main plot is going to have soybeans, and then it's going to have chicory in it, and it's going to have the sorghum along the fence line. It's going to have I'm going to do it in strips, and I'll explain it more when I get out there. So it's going to go sorghum on the fence line, and then it's going to go soybeans, and then it'll be a little bit of a buffer, and then it's going to go soybeans, chicory, and then there'll be a little bit of a buffer, and then it's going to be chicory, forage rape, and there'll be a little bit of a buffer, and then it'll just be chicory, and then there'll be another buffer, and then it'll be forage rape. And these areas are going to be minimum 20 yards wide for each one, and that's how I'm going to plant it. But the second one is going to be mainly, which butts up to an alfalfa field, is mainly going to be sorghum, and then it's going to be a mix of soybean and chicory. Only that's the only 3 there. And then the small one, like I said, it's only going to be the kale, the forage rape, and the sorghum. The paths to help keep them down and mowed is going to be only clover and chicory mix only, so that way it stays green, to help them out on the paths, to give them a little something extra before they come out into what's going to be a cornfield this year. It was a soybean field. It's going to be a cornfield this year. The farmer rotates it every year. And so they'll have the corn, they're going to have chicory, they're going to have clover, they're going to have sorghum, they're going to have forage rape, they're going to have kale, they're going to have alfalfa, they're going to have acorns. They've got numerous areas where we're not even going to touch for their bedding area to keep them on there. There's numerous places for them to get water. The river runs literally on the west end and the southeast southwest and south end of the property. So there's numerous water options for them. Literally, it'll make this spot absolute 100% paradise. Whether you're wanting to hunt turkeys, deer, coyotes, you name it. This, like I said, this place has got it all. And like I said, I'll go do an in-depth video with it. I'm going to get this numbskull out there with me so he can see it. Jordan's been out there once with me already. As you can tell in the videos, we were out walking around, doing some check-in. We're also going to add a couple of little touches to help draw in deer. We're going to put a horizontal rubbing bench in. We're going to do a couple of mock scrapes out there. We're going to do I'll walk you through my process for what I'm going to do for blind setups for youth season this year and for deer hunting, and how and why I did everything the way it was done. I am getting a lot of much needed help with getting all this done between good friends and family members that help me out. So got that going for me. But also coming up, let Mason know, or let me know, do you want to see tests done with what I look for in shooting either a fixed blade or the mechanicals? Do you want to see a slight broadhead test and see me destroy a couple of them, or not destroy them? Just kind of what I look for with the broadheads. Do a really in-depth video on nothing but these guys right here, broadheads. Do you want me to do a video on my setup, the way I have things going the way I do? Let me know, or let Mason know. We're pretty much partnered. He's got Wapsie River at fishing. I'm Wapsie River at hunting.
Adventures.
Hunting adventures. I keep forgetting adventures.
I mean, we could have it just hunting. Since I'm fishing, you're hunting.
Yeah. But I am planning a trip for 2026.
Yeah, but this can be just hunting.
I guess it works. I won't argue with it. So he's going to be the main guy helping me out with editing, putting in a nice little intro to all this stuff. I don't know if we'll do one with this one. Would you have one for this one?
Yeah, I would. Once we start getting videos done.
Okay. Well, this is one.
All right.
So, but he's going to help me out until, for the most part, most of the editing that you'll see will probably be. I'll mention when I actually do some of the editing. I'll actually say, "Hey, this is something I did." But until then, it's going to be this guy right here doing the editing. He does a really good job of it. Like I said, he's done 99% of the editing and putting together for Retopia. Like I said, make sure to check those guys out. Retopia Outdoors on this channel on YouTube. Wapsie River at Fishing. Make sure to check him out. He's growing. He's up over 200. I'm still at 24 right now. Like I said, I'm in the beginning process. Hopefully he's going to help me get up a little bit more.
I'm already logged into your account and all that, so I'll be able to get that done.
Be able to help me out a little bit. DNS Tackle on Facebook. DNS Tackle. Chris Doty. Make sure to check them out. They've got a lot of cool things going on with baits and colors and stuff, and they've got orders going out. Make sure to check him out. But the only way we can grow and know that we're actually doing something right is to like, subscribe, hit our little notification deals. You guys all know the jazz on all of that. Make sure to do all that. But hopefully the next couple of videos will be with food plots. Trying to get, maybe I'll try and get one set up for, maybe have him come along with me to do videoing while I actually do a blind and see the entire process and how I'm talking to myself, thinking out loud on when it goes to setting up a blind for turkey season. Those will be coming up, and like I said, then it'll be hopefully three, if not maybe possibly more, successful turkey hunts coming up on here. And then once turkey season's over, it'll be a lot of fishing, and then archery prep for the upcoming season with shooting in archery tournaments. The Reinhardt 100 is now back in Iowa for this year, and it's actually not that far from us to be able to go and travel.
Where's it at?
Marble Rock, Mason City area. So about the same distance as what it was when it used to be at Echo Valley.
I don't really care for the Reinhardt.
I like shooting it just because it's one of the few 50 target rounds that are around. But if you're an archer, go out, support your local shops. If they don't have it, don't be ashamed of buying your stuff on Amazon. At least, if you don't have the knowledge or the comfort to set up your own stuff, maybe that shop will be able to help you out with getting it set up. They might give you a little guff of, oh, you bought it off Amazon, blah, 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 Chinese bullshit, piece of shit, whatever. Just let them do it and ask them to do the work for you, because in the end, you're still supporting them. You're still giving them money to be able to do the work. So, like I said, first and foremost, do make sure to support your local shops. Make sure to be safe when you're doing everything. Please, as hunters, we have to stop the bashing on everybody. Quit hating on crossbow hunters. Quit hating.
Same way with fishing too.
Yep. We gotta stop the hate, because that's what the big people above that don't like the hunting and fishing, they want to divide us and to start taking us out little by little, because it's hard to take out a big group at once.
I just saw a guy that kept two trophy size walleye, and there was so many people on there saying he should have released them because they were good breeders. And I'm sorry, but here in Iowa, there's only a 1% success rate on wild walleye spawning in Iowa.
That's why so many places around here still stock walleye.
And most of that 1% is in the Cedar River. There's a reason why Iowa DNR fisheries spawn their fish at the hatchery and release the fish. There's a reasoning for it.
Yep.
But there's so many people on there saying he should have released the females. Maybe that was his only weekend to go out and fish, and he had dumb luck and caught two female walleye, and he was going to have them mounted. It's his license. Let him do what he wants, as long as it's legal.
Same thing when it comes to hunting. Somebody's shooting a basket rack buck, or can you hand me that one over there quick? Just give you an idea. Here, I'm having him grab this.
Ouch.
Grab this deal.
I'm injured, but yeah, it's all fucked up, damaged.
Yeah. Having a buck like this come around, I can tell you right now, this is not a Boone and Crockett deer by any means of the imagination. I can tell you right now, a buck like this walks in front of me, he's in trouble. And you can sit there and say, oh, I'd let that walk. Oh, think of the potential. It's not about this. It's about the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It's about the excitement. That's what hunting is supposed to be about. If that animal gets you excited, gets your heart pumping, and you're like, oh, here he comes, and you start getting, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you start getting that feeling, that's the animal that you should try and harvest. If you're unable to successfully do it, let him walk. Okay, I've let a lot of deer like that walk because my adrenaline was just going. I didn't feel safe making the shot. I enjoyed everything about the hunt, except I didn't feel just the deer. I didn't have to bust my balls dragging them out 1.5 miles, and it saved me on a locker bill, but I still got the memory up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what hunting and fishing is about. It's the memories that are made, not what's sitting on the wall. That's just an added bonus.
And how many those 2 deer that we had on our list to try and take, they were taken during shotgun season. Not on our property either.
Nope.
On somebody else's property.
Yep.
Now say we had those deer come in front of us and we were going to be like everyone else that says, oh, I would have let those walk. Guess what? They were taken come shotgun season anyway.
Yep. And, we don't have control over that.
No, we don't.
And if we leased 2,000 acres, maybe we might sit there, and decide as a group, hey, let's see, this one's got potential. Maybe we'll let this one walk,
Mm-hmm.
Set aside like maybe 1 or 2. But in the end, if you decide you're not going to let him, we're not going to sit there and, oh, you can't hunt with us no more. We all, so what?
Mm-hmm.
You're happy. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's your tag. It's your license. You spent the money.
You do what you want with it.
Exactly. And if somebody's going to bash you for it, they just need to scroll right on by. Take it with a grain of salt.
Just for the hell of it, I went on that post and wrote that one guy a message back after he said, yeah, you should have released him. I'm like, yeah, released him in the grease.
Yep. Exactly.
Right in the fryer. I was like, I would have done it.
Yep, exactly. Anybody would. Anybody, now, if that's your forte to let deer walk and stuff, that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to bash you over it, but you got to stop bashing people like me or my buddy or anybody, any other Joe Schmo out there. We don't know their backstory. They might only have 3 weekends out of the year to go out and hunt,
Yep.
Whatever they're happy with taking, let them be happy. Support them and say congrats,
Mm-hmm.
Show more positivity than negativity, and maybe hunter numbers will start going back up and around instead of declining like they have been for the last how many years around here?
Yeah. Well, and also freaking over at the archery shoots, if you see a loner kid just sitting there not knowing what to do or nervous or doesn't want to go out and shoot by himself, invite him along into your group.
Yep. Help
him out.
Yep. And because you never know, you never know how you might make that person's day.
Mm-hmm.
Show positivity, get positive results.
Yep.
Positive and a positive is a positive.
Now,
Negative and a positive and a negative normally ends up in can end up in a negative. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get a positive, but not very often.
Yeah.
And a negative never equal a positive. No. Never.
No. So, it's just sickening to see that other hunters out there that don't realize that we already have a bunch of groups and a bunch of people out there
and we're seeing it here in Iowa.
Yeah, they're trying to end our way of life just because, they don't believe in it.
And they don't have control over us.
Yeah.
Hank Williams said it best. A country boy can survive.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous seeing a lot of these people out there that don't know what to do. I mean, just for an example, I have a family member that I helped out the other day, and she didn't have the capability of doing the stuff that a normal person like me knew how to do. And it's because they don't want to, how do you want to say, they never had anybody go out there and show them how to do something.
Yep.
And this specific thing came naturally to me because I was taught by my grandfather.
Yep.
So, and
be the starting point for somebody for learning something new, or if they show the slightest bit of interest, give them just a little push towards that. Don't shove them into it right away. Just, hey, yeah, here's some positive stuff. Make your decision, you know.
And if you don't know
go
how,
that route with it.
and if you don't know how to do something, look it up on the platform that we have this video on.
Yep, YouTube.
There's people that are always putting up how-to videos.
Exactly. I mean, you can find how-tos on just about everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we should ever do a how-to. I mean, you kind of do, but
this ain't hard.
but
But
I
somebody
mean,
like you.
I mean, do I really want to do a how-to on how I feel dress a deer? I mean, if we ever got monetized, that'd be a quick way to get demonetized real quick and in a hurry.
It's and plus it'd take 30 minutes to do.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we do it during gun season. You know I do that shit real quick. You've seen me do it and you're like, damn, that was quick. And I was like, yeah, I gotta get the hell out. We gotta go.
Yeah, but all right,
that's maybe that'll be another time that we'll do maybe a shorter video on about a couple of hunts me and him have done in the past, and how this guy got lost shotgun hunting with me one year. Yeah, him and
it was his group's fault.
I didn't play a part in it though. I told them to go back and get him, and they didn't do it. They were all too worried about me. And like I said, maybe we'll do a segment going down memory lane about our experiences since we've been hunting together. Because we've been hunting together how many years?
Oh God, it was after 2006.
Yeah, we're going at 19 years.
Yeah.
Holy buck, 19 years we've been.
Yeah.
Hunting together, but God, we've known each other longer. What, 24 years?
Yeah.
I mean, when we really started getting together and stuff, like 24 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got history, and it'd make for good content and stuff. So, but
yeah, we gotta end this. Wife said food's done.
He's got to eat. I gotta go home to the kiddos. So.
And I gotta figure out where I'm hanging this now.
Yeah, he's got to figure out where to put his nice shiny. I shouldn't say shiny, but his nice new. Bow that I gifted him. So
yeah,
just because I'm that type of guy to always find a way for somebody.
He doesn't.
Instead of downplaying them and saying no.
He doesn't wanna. He'd miss me.
Yeah. I mean, you get me, him, and Jordan together. It's. I don't know who starts laughing more between him and Jordan and me, and the way they tag up on me, and you know how the whole BRBs came around and shit like that. I mean, it's a hoot, and I wish we just had a camera somebody that followed us around with a camera, because it would definitely make for good content to see the three of us when we get together and we're out hunting and stuff, and how everything is. I mean, and I know Jordan's wanting to kind of go towards that. So, but like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for this guy here.
Yep.
Wapsie River Rat Fishing. Do the same for me, Wapsie River Rat Hunting. Also, show love to Jordan, Retopia Outdoors. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. He's got his YouTube channel. His daughter's hunt from last year is up. Our hunts from 23 are up on there. Oh, sorry. And also make sure to follow DNS Tackle. They do not have a YouTube channel yet, as of now, that I'm pretty sure of.
No,
but we will help them. We will possibly help them out with that. And also, but they are on Facebook, DNS Tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So show him some love, and who knows, maybe order some stuff. Let him know how good of a job he actually is doing. But until then, we'll see you guys on the next one, and have fun.
Yep, we'll see ya. Edit.
Scoochie.